Hi, this is Russ Benson. I am a Liverpool supporter, and you're listening to Drunkard United Football Show. You all need Jesus.
Not fucking wrong. Not fucking wrong at all. The atheist is looking at both of you going, y'all need Jesus. Y'all need fucking Jesus. You need just a little bit of calming mechanism in your system there, Mr. Graham. Good Lord.
Yeah, I'm over it, man.
Should be a good day, man. We're starting the top 20 list.
Yeah, that is fun, though.
You know,
I'm
be
excited
happy
about
about it. Be happy. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Snub of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, the man who almost ruined the fucking bit we do every year, Mr. Samuel Graham. How we doing, buddy?
We just would have pushed it to next week. Big deal.
I just wanted to push that button one more time.
Fuck you, man.
Just one more time.
Ruin the bit. Like, if we didn't start it today, it was over.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, it would be ruined forever.
Good. I go get 700 of my hard-earned American dollars
As
back.
Abby would say, then what's the point?
What, GG?
Exactly. What's the point of making a very loud yelling statement if the mute button's on? Exactly. We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, and of course streaming live every single Monday night.
Eventually.
How his kid decides to go to sleep or not depends on how that works out.
I'm just lobbing at both of you.
Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
At Hiram6969. That's where you can find
You
us.
tag it in Young Hot Freshness.
At Alan Giannis. At who else fills in?
Rob does.
Oh yeah, at Gunner Tech. I think is his handle.
Very good.
Oh, fucking hell. All right. It's at DU Football Show on all the social medias. I forgot what you asked me there for a second. And dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Very good. Very good. See, aren't we? We're calmer now, right?
No,
We're breathing.
not at all.
We're centered.
No.
You know what's about to make us be centered?
This whiskey's hitting a little too tight.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we've got to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, the list has been obtained, and we are ready to begin. Let us start with our first entry from Whisky Advocates, Top 20 Whiskies of 2023.
Here we go. Number 20 from Whisky Advocates list is the Ezra Brooks 99. This is a 49.5% straight rye whiskey. Should cost you around $25 to $30. The panel rating was a 92. This rye from Ezra Brooks punches well above its attractive price point of $25. On the nose, this whiskey is rich and spiced, supported by a pleasant earthiness of leafy greens and menthol. Warming vanilla and toasted grains envelop prickly black pepper, sharp cinnamon, and flinty graphite aromas. You ever had flinty graphite? That's exactly what I got off of it. With each sip, layers of lemon, orange, honey, and raspberry iced tea unfold atop the whiskey's dry, peppery base, creating excellent balance. The finish introduces dark chocolate and sea salt, milk chocolate, and lemon ice alongside one last kick of big peppery spice. And that blurb came to you from Whisky Advocates tasting panel, gentleman Shane English.
Very good.
It's very fucking good.
It hits exactly the boxes
Oh,
you
yeah.
want from a rye whiskey, and at $25, fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Besides the flinty graphite, whatever that is, everything else I do actually get from it.
Mint, citrus, pepper,
It's
all day.
delicious. Yeah, I like a little bit of a chocolatey finish there as well. It's very good.
I can get in trouble with that fucking rye whiskey.
Oh yeah, I mean, we might have to find another bottle of it because we might kill this tonight.
It's really
easy to drink, and I'm in a really bad way.
Yeah,
and when I'm in a bad way, I like to punish my liver.
Yeah, well, you did that last night too.
Always remember to drink responsibly, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's a great endorsement. I like to damage my liver. Remember to drink responsibly.
Don't be like me.
Cheers, my good man.
Yes, cheers. Also, in an ode to Soundcheck, briefly, if everybody could donate an extra $1 on the Patreon so I could tip the mail person for having the Whisky Advocate brought to us the day of starting the list.
I give you Exhibit A, the giant fucking crease.
I'd like to tip her $16 for making sure this was in our here for the start.
Just in here ready to go. By the way,
she didn't forget it.
Newsflash, everybody. That was the cheapest whiskey on the list. It gets a little bit more expensive.
Pricey this year. Yeah.
Fuck.
Not easy. So that's patreon.com/DFootballShow to help tip Sam's mail person.
Yeah, well, I also just helps pay for the fucking whiskey. All right. We open with a match that wasn't finished and a very scary storyline that has happened more times than we honestly care to report. Luton and Bournemouth.
Yeah, more than once to the same player. At that, the game was abandoned around the 65th minute following the collapse of defender and captain Tom Lockyer in the center circle. As of right now, the talk is that the match will be replayed in full, but it is at the moment not a final decision, which is why our fantasy league, everything hasn't been finalized and nobody's officially won or done anything yet. They will determine that, I'm assuming, in the next few days. This has happened before with the same player, as I alluded to, in the playoff final in May. He collapsed as well.
This also happened in the last Europa to one Christian Eriksen.
In the European Championships, yeah. The thoughts, prayers, good vibes, and best of luck from us here at the DD Football Show. Obviously, by all accounts, he is stable and responsive. They are awaiting results of other tests, and hopefully he's on the road to a full recovery again. I think maybe take up a punditry position.
Yeah,
sadly enough, might be. If this is now the second time this has happened, it might not be a good thing to continue on playing, in my opinion. But, of course, well done to the members of the medical staff and the trainers for attending to his cardiac arrest in such a timely manner and saving his life for a second time.
And if you want to say anything about vaccines, do us all a favor and go fucking play in traffic right now.
Jesus.
Because it's already happening.
Is it already starting?
It's already starting.
Right.
So just go fucking play in traffic.
It was starting before they called the match. It's how bad it is.
Like every single time this happens in sports since then, fucking people start saying that shit. And seriously, just go play tag with a fucking 18-wheeler. Please.
That's what happens when your Microsoft microchip goes haywire.
Yeah, exactly. Sattery.
Fucking idiots.
All eyes are on the top of the league,
idiots.
where it's anyone's to win, and the top of the table changes week to week. Manchester City 2, Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 2, Brighton 0, Aston Villa 2, Brentford 1, Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. City seems to be cruising right along and then find a way to drop 2 points at the fucking death.
Yeah, and they also were the only game I missed on my bet. Mm-hmm. So there's a betting house in England called Betfair, I think it is, or Betway, one of the two. I think it might be Betfair. Mm-hmm. They have a feature that is exclusive to them that is called their Match Odd 90 market. Mm-hmm. And if you bet, whatever you bet, if it's hitting at 90 minutes,
you get paid.
You get paid in full.
Right.
Right? Now, the odds aren't as good, obviously, because you have this safety net. But anything that is done by stoppage time drama, any bet that's undone, you still get paid in full.
Oh,
as long as it happens in stoppage time. So if you had City to win in this game and you bet with that house on that particular market, you would have gotten paid anyway.
Right.
And I heard it was something ridiculous, like 35,000 people.
Wow.
Still got paid out, even though Palace ended up tying. But your bet isn't dead, right? So if you had the draw, you still got paid.
Wow, really?
Yeah. It's pretty cool. So if the stoppage time helps you, you're in. You're still good. But if stoppage time hurts you, you still get paid on the 90 minutes as long as that result was happened at 90
The
minutes.
odds they have to reduce odds on that.
Of course, absolutely they do. But anyway, City dominated the game, but Palace were like a rash that wouldn't go away. They kept trying, and they seem to, over the last 3 or 5 years, as much as a team can, seem to be a bit of a bogey team for City at the City ground.
Oh, absolutely.
Not the City ground, but at the Etihad, rather.
Yeah, they do mess with their world.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was, a smash and grab, really. Mateta's goal especially. I mean, he just threw himself and was like, everything is going into the net. I am Thor.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
3 times I've had the juice.
Motherfuckers are already putting up damn memes of us as the show goes on.
This is like, this is, for inappropriate memes, we are the anti-vaxxer crowd.
Yeah.
That's how fast it starts, Mel.
And then it's always your cartoon face, but my real face.
Yeah. Why is that's weird too?
don't
Why is
know.
that?
It's how it always is.
I don't know, but what was weird today was me walking around the mall wearing my DU football show swag with my husband.
Which you could get at the DU Drip Shack. Just
So I'm
check the link tree on all our
literally
social media
wearing,
links.
Great
a
gift for
shirt
Christmas, doesn't it?
with
Great
his
Christmas gift.
face on the back, walking around the mall.
Nice.
Your face too, Graham. Your face too. Just to make sure everybody knew you're right up there with us, stud. We still love you, even though you forget things from time to time.
I'm not fucking. I'm never gonna laugh at that.
I'm gonna laugh at it constantly because you won't.
For all the things we said about how kind of initially with Holland, everybody was worried about how they were going to play because they've never had that sort of a tip to the spear. It seems, and Rodri was really the only linchpin that made the whole thing tick. And then De Bruyne for a while was the only linchpin that made things tick. But now, it seems without Holland, City have only won once in their last 6 league games. Been losses, draws, and only the one win.
Yep.
So now it seems like they can't play without Holland.
And here's the key thing. And I think I say it later on in this segment, but I'll go ahead and say it now. Let's be honest. They drop points. That is what Arsenal, Liverpool, and Villa recognize.
Oh, yeah.
They don't even really recognize what each of them are doing around each other. Because in the case of Liverpool and Arsenal,
We play each other next week.
so who fucking you go out and beat the other one, right?
Yep.
But I guarantee you all are going, what City do? Where are they at? Oh, they dropped 2 more points?
Well, because the other piece to that, too, is they are usually, and traditionally under Pep, but minus probably his first season, ridiculous in the second half of the year. So you need to buffer yourself. We had, what was it, an 8-point lead last year, 5-point lead last year, and 3 results
Gone.
6 weeks apart.
Yeah.
It was like 1 bad result, 2 weeks later, another bad result, 3 weeks later, another bad result. We're out of the title's gone.
Yep.
I mean, that's how fast it turns around. So building up that cushion now is huge.
Yeah.
Is absolutely fucking massive. And we all of us will need it. Because Liverpool, the other point in them specifically in comparison to us and Villa especially, is Liverpool are just kind of inching over the line in some of these. They're not playing very convincingly. Us and Villa are playing much better football.
Right.
Our performances are much, much better. So both of us are kind of looking at Liverpool going, they're there for the taking.
Well, and also at home, Villa's playing better than all of you. I mean, they're just gangbusters
I
at
heard
home.
this stat the other day. In this calendar year, that was their 25th win in all competition. Not all competition, in the league. 25th win in the league since the start of the year, beating Brentford. The most in a calendar year in the entire club's fucking history. A storied old club, an original founding member of the Football League. They have never won 25 games in a calendar year before, and we still have 2 more games to play this calendar year.
Yeah, insane.
So they could absolutely smash that out of the water. It's huge.
Here's a
And
question
that's
for you.
with 8 weeks in the summer of not doing fuck all.
Have City lost the ability to close out matches? Because this is happening a lot with them.
Well, I think this is a bit unfortunate. Obviously, a lot of teams will have that bit of adrenaline, that foray, right before the end of the match. And I don't think Phil Foden knew too much of what he was doing there. It's definitely a penalty. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he even saw him coming. Is what I'm saying. I don't even think he saw Mateta, stealing in there, and so he's looking at that ball to try to turn and clear it. He misses the ball. It was, unfortunate, and he fucking whacked Elise or Mateta like straight across his midriff.
Here's one for you.
But I don't think he knew much about it. Is my point.
As you were watching them go, like it went to VAR and it went to VAR, were you thinking in the back of your mind, they're trying to figure out how to
give it, how to not call a penalty. Yeah.
They're trying to find something that happened so they could say this is not a penalty.
Absolutely.
They do not want this to be a penalty.
Absolutely. They need to give him as many points as they can before they dock him 50.
No, remember, they didn't admit to anything. And besides, the league has their right to change it however they see fit.
Oh, yeah, you'll be
crime.
dead, and I'll be full gray doing the show with Hiram when City finally get deducted points for all the shit that's happening now.
Exactly. Moving on to Gunners, you know what? That was a nice, convincing win, considering that's a team that typically gives you all fits.
Well, it was surprising domination from us, really. I think they only had one shot on target. Maybe 6 shots overall, but nothing ever really threatened, except that David Raya almost dropped the ball and presented it to somebody. But besides that, Brighton never really got out their own half, despite having apparently 50.5% of the ball, which I don't think is accurate. I think somebody fell asleep and didn't properly.
They could have been just doing a lot of passing between midfield and defense to try to keep you off the ball.
But they weren't. It felt like we had everything.
Yeah.
It felt like we had everything. It's a very misleading stat that they had that much of the ball. But we were excellent. Declan Rice was absolutely immense in this game. Saka had a great game. Jesus had a great game. Martinelli had a great game, providing that outlet as he always does, a willing and able runner in anytime you ask him to do so. And our two forward-facing Brazilians, Martinelli and Jesus, made Lewis Dunk look absolutely ridiculous twice. And it was fantastic to see the dumb look on his face. And being nutmegged in front of 60,000 people and seeing the frustration come out from him when Martinelli did it to him, and you could see him like clap his hands as he was turning to run back and chase him, which that's a futile cause as well, especially when you're Lewis Dunk. It was just amazing to see. And then Jesus holding him off and doing a little step back and flick. Ball comes between them. Lewis Dunk continues to move forward, and Jesus is already 3 steps past.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. And he was like, where's the ball at? Like he didn't know what was
behind me. It's already gone.
It was a glimpse back to when the first Brazilian stepped foot on English shores. And, a player like Vinnie Jones, who's just known for cracking the shit out of people, meets the, kind of Ronaldinho,
right
skill set. And it's just like, dude, running circles around you, man.
I don't know what the fuck to do.
It's fucking brilliant.
He's even too fast for me to grab.
It's absolutely fantastic.
Archie, when we used to play outdoor against each other, there were multiple times he got by me and was scoring a goal that I legitimately just tried to grab his ankle and pull him to the ground. And still couldn't.
Right?
All eyes are now on Anfield. It's the top. It's for the top spot. It's now, Arsenal going to Anfield, and you can't help but think that this time last year when that game happened, well, it wasn't this calendar time, but when you guys went to Anfield, you were up 2-0. You ended up drawing 2-2. It felt like that was when the title changed almost.
Well, what's going on here is this season we've had that experience. 90% of the players that are on the field right now have had that experience.
Yeah.
Right? There's a couple that we've brought in that have not. Trossard came in obviously in January.
Rice.
But I don't know that he would have had that. I'm sure he had that much invested. I'm not trying to say he doesn't care. But, like, he wasn't there for most of the season. He wasn't riding that wave with us at the beginning kind of thing. So when that happens, it's almost like, like, am I really a part of the group yet or whatever, kind of thing.
Right.
I think he absolutely does give a shit. I'm not trying to say he doesn't. That's not what I mean by that at all. But you have Declan Rice now. And, I mean, Partey's very good. Don't get me wrong. But the way Declan Rice put himself about and the amount of balls he won from the edge of the center circle forward in that game against Brighton, that is going to be absolutely massive, especially when we come on to Liverpool and how sloppy they were against United.
Mm-hmm.
There will be some reserve in the team, some steel reserve in the team because of what happened last year at Anfield.
Mm-hmm.
And the way Liverpool are currently playing over the last 3-4 weeks, I really do think we have an opportunity here because we're still playing good football, right? When we lost to Villa, we said it on last week's show, this was totally different to City and not as deflating as City's would have been.
Mm-hmm.
Villa dominated City.
Right.
City had 2 shots on target and didn't have a sniff. Yes, the play was a little sloppy on both sides, really.
Right.
But Arsenal played very well in that game, and on another day,
right,
would have won the game. That was one of those coin flips. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're smelling blood in the water here. And if Villa were playing Liverpool this weekend, I'd say the same thing.
I would tend to agree. I think the only
because
thing
both of those two teams are they are the form teams. Despite fuck the results, I'm talking about the eye test. Villa and Arsenal are unequivocally the form teams in that top 4 or 6.
I was going to say there's somebody that's just won their last 4 with shutouts in all 4 of them.
I'm just saying in that bracket of
yes,
I knew you were going to bring up some dumb shit. I knew you were going to bring up some dumb shit. Just, balance your checkbook, motherfucker.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
In that top 6, Arsenal and Villa are by far the form teams. So I think both of them, regardless of who was playing Liverpool this weekend, would absolutely fucking just see it as a chance, as an opportunity to stamp their authority on this title challenge.
So despite their form, you have to say, looking at that Villa and Brentford match, Brentford played a nearly perfect match until the Ben Mee red card.
Yeah, they did.
They really did. They played a perfect match. They did what is it we keep saying about Villa you need to do is you have to slow them down.
Yeah, they did that.
Brentford completely slowed them down.
Absolutely.
There was all Villa was doing was passing the ball around the box and then passing it back to the defenders and then passing it around the box again, occasionally putting it across, which they easily took care of, and it seemed to be going perfect.
Well, Moreno had 2 or 3 chances he should have put away, honestly. That he
especially early on
was either blocked or he just wide or whatever, or straight at the goalkeeper. One of them was very, very tame. But that jinking run that he had kind of, past 5 or 6 Brentford players, when the shot came, it was just kind of dribbled to what's his name? Flecken.
Yep.
Whatever it is.
That Flecken name.
Well done.
But also that Ben Mee red card,
and that's not Ben Mee.
Yeah.
It was so weird to see him do that.
First red card since his first year in the league with Burnley.
Yeah, like 9 years or something, or 8 years.
But that is he came in, the foot came high, the spikes were in the shin.
He properly lunged.
Yeah,
I mean, if Leon Bailey's leg was planted, that's a leg breaker. That's potentially a leg breaker.
Yeah,
that's getting
terrible.
We already know if you see the vision of a spike on a shin in that slow motion or freeze frame from VAR,
either way,
it's happening. It's a red card. It's gonna get called
in real time. That's a red card.
Oh yeah,
in a real time replay. Because if you look at him, his knee, the way his leg is bent underneath him, his knee was still almost a foot off the ground.
Yeah,
when he first initiated that challenge.
Yeah,
there was no fucking way he was making contact with that ball.
No.
And if he was, he would have taken out Leon Bailey's ankle.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was horrific, that challenge. He's lucky Leon Bailey's leg wasn't planted, and he's lucky he caught him a little to the side of the leg, because he could have maimed him. Honestly, he could have maimed him.
And Moreno makes good, gets the header to equalize.
That header. All he needs is the easiest fucking chance, and to part the Brentford defense like the Red Sea. The goalkeeper didn't even realize the back post existed at that point.
Yeah, I know.
He just
completely wide open.
Rooted to the spot.
They're like, oh, that fucker, he's been missing this whole match.
actually quite pathetic.
Yeah.
And to bring everything full circle at the end of the game, obviously Ollie Watkins had that goal. It's great. I think it was Kamara that actually flicked it on.
It was.
Good
Gorgeous
reaction.
flick on.
Good reaction header from that flick. Obviously, he celebrates to an extent against his former team, which he obviously said he didn't plan to. He apologized to Thomas Frank afterwards.
Yeah, you saw that on the
and
camera.
then he came out in the media and said, there was one motherfucker that was just giving me.
And when it happened, it was out of character for Ollie, and he stood there like shoulders wide, feet planted, pointed, and just stared down. And then you could see the camera pan out, and this white boy with a hoodie just like stone
Just
faced
stood
nodding.
there and
When McGinn came over, I'm like, okay, whatever's happening. When McGinn comes over and he's like, yeah, and he's also pointing at that one kid, and so were all the other. Like, it was like, all right, that's something direct. This is not normal.
Well, and I don't know who the Villa player, not Villa, sorry, the Brentford player was that came over that took exception of what they were doing, but got involved and started the melee. I'm not sure that he was aware of what was happening.
It doesn't matter. What are you doing? Like, just fuck off.
And we'll come. I have a thing that I want
It's that
to.
trivalism. You're fucking with
know.
one of ours, so I'm
There's
gonna
something I
fuck with
want
you.
to talk about in a second, but with Frank in the post game, he had talked. Obviously, you saw Watkins and him talk, and in the post presser, the reporter goes to Thomas Frank's like, so he was taunting the fans, and the fans or your players said something, and immediately Frank's was like, no, report it correctly. It was a supporter. My players did not do anything.
Right.
Report it correctly. Ask the question. She's like, well, he's like, ask the question correctly. Like, I mean, he was very
direct.
He went real German on her real quick.
He's
and
Austrian, I think, but yeah.
Just like, no.
Yeah.
No. Like,
See,
stop it.
Now, obviously, we've got. There's lots of footage on the History Channel of angry Germans, but
No shit.
and people with that sort of accent.
Right.
However, when they're just speaking and not yelling, every single time it sounds sexual. Does it not? Just
That is your own thing.
It's
That's your own little.
Everyone.
That's your own little kink there, stud.
it's not a kink. I much prefer a different accent than that.
How was it we were doing on the like? Grade me, daddy.
No.
Yeah.
Is that what was working for you? Huh? Is that what you want?
Yeah. All right. You just asked the question correctly. Yeah.
Now we have to go ahead and talk about this fucking chicanery. Everybody, would it surprise you to know that Neil Mopay, also known as Neil Lespay, might be a bit of a shithouser?
Well, so this is from my side of it, and then I'm interested to hear Mel's side of
Mel's got thoughts. We're going to let her
This
go.
is the full circle moment for Emmy. Because you'll remember.
Mel's about to do the same thing.
She's got it also? Same thing.
Got it all.
So, all right, then go ahead. I'll leave it to you since he's your player now.
Well, thank you. And it's great how you phrase that, because that is actually part of the whole full circle thing. It's the butterfly effect.
It's not 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's 6 degrees of
it's,
Neil Mopay.
It's 1 degree of dick face.
Yeah, it's all dick face. And so when Mopay hurt
Leno
from
Arsenal
in the goal, that caused Emmy to come up as the Arsenal goalie.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they put him back on the bench, that caused them to send him to Villa.
Mm-hmm.
And at Villa, he excelled. That got him called up to the Argentinian national team.
Mm-hmm.
Then he had the great showing at Copa.
Mm-hmm.
And then
when they won the Copa Libertadores.
Yeah.
Or Copa America, rather.
Yeah.
Libertadores. That's the
Fast
club
forward to 1 year ago today, as we're recording this.
He fucked the World Cup Gold Glove.
No, this was the night where he saved when was coming down and it was going to be the game winner, and he just somehow fucking saved it.
Oh, yeah.
In the last seconds, and then it goes to penalties. That is how Mopay, won the World Cup for Messi.
And
Mope is also Argentinian. Could have played for Argentina. He's also French.
not good enough to play for either country.
No, he's not.
No, but you know who is good enough to play for the French team and is also French?
Uh-huh.
Kamara.
You know
Aha.
what else happened? To another sliding doors moment that could have stopped all this. And I will argue that it was not just his performances as Villa, by the way,
Okay.
that got him a call to Argentina. That year, remember, we won the FA Cup.
Aha.
And beat City along the way to the final against Frank Lampard's Chelsea.
All because Neil Mope hurt
All
some
because
guy.
Neil Mope hurt Bird Leno.
Yeah.
And that's where Martinez made a name for himself after being the backup at Arsenal for a decade. Mm-hmm. Then he goes there. And so that today was the final, wasn't it? Of the World Cup. Yeah, so it also was the day that he fucked the Golden Glove. Because he was given it.
Oh, was that night?
Yeah, they give it to him during the trophy thing.
I couldn't remember it was that night.
And then about 3 days from now is the first appearance of the Mbappe baby doll
Oh my gosh.
in Argentina as he went on a fucking bender.
That's incredible.
Then also, what could have curtailed the entire thing and this moment from not happening is you'll remember Matteo Guendouzi was sent off in that game. No longer plays for Arsenal.
Right.
Last I remember was at Marseille or somewhere, or Lyon or somebody in France. Also no longer plays for the French national team. He had his hands around Mope's throat after he hurt Bird Leno, and he could have ended this whole thing. It's like a fucking
All you had to do was
Marvel
squeeze.
Universe thing here.
Kamara put his hands around somebody's throat that
But that
day.
was
He
an
got a red
accident.
card.
Yeah, because he tried to put him in his mouth first.
You know how
Like he was going to choke fuck him.
do you know how Mope likes to stamp on people, to put it in English terms? 2018, he stamped on John McGinn.
Well, it had to be lower than the bum.
Yeah.
Because if he stamped on his bum, he would have been sent into orbit.
Right, spikes right on the thigh.
Would have been like one of those big, huge tube things that the people slide off of the big slide.
Why does it always come back
Or
to
whatever
that?
it's called, yeah, in the lake
That's
at summer
exactly what it
camp,
would be.
yeah,
Yeah.
the blob or whatever they call
exactly
it.
what
Yeah.
it would be. Yeah, of course, we're ultimately getting it as Mope just decides to, as the ball's going out of bounds, just run directly into Emmy for no good reason. Because, again, he's a fucking shithouser. That's what he does.
But they're both king shithouse.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Because it gets followed up by exactly what Emmy does.
Be honest, because Jamie Vardy's not in the Premier League this season.
Right.
They have taken over the mantle of king shithouses.
Right.
Both of them do it
I will
constantly.
say, only one of them now has rules to prevent them from shithousing.
That's true.
Now, so Mope brushed Emmy in the box.
Oh, he ran
He
right up.
shoulder
He shouldered
blocked.
him.
He
He
shoulder
shouldered him. He
checked
ran
him.
right into him.
Shoulder checked him. I
he
think we need to take off the
Now,
old marriage glasses here.
But also,
Emmy goes flopping to the ground like a dead fish.
right. Also, Neil is 5'0" and Emmy is 6'4", and he just So yes, you're right. He did flop to the ground, but Mope went in with force. He
he
threw
didn't.
his shoulder into him purposely.
But as you said,
Yeah.
Neil Mope's 5'0" and Emmy's 6'4",
Right.
and should be able to flick him in the forehead and send him into Rosette. Instead, he chooses to fall over and stare at the referee with his arms up. And actually, Superman kept his stomach on the ground, and
Yeah.
all fours were off the
In the
ground.
air. Yep.
Well, he needed to stretch
Then-
while he was down there.
He walks past on a free kick after Mope fouled somebody. Ball's sitting on the ground, and as he walks past, Mope just stands his ground. And Emmy gives him
The slightest of elbows too.
one of the worst elbows I've ever seen in league football.
And of course,
actually.
what did Les Pay do? Flop right to the
Flopped
ground.
to the ground, as Martinez did.
And all
Neither of which should have required either one of them to go on the ground, is the
Right.
point.
Well, the funny part too is also, mate, he's on the ground. You're winning 2-1,
And then Emmy
it's
goes
wasting.
up.
It's wasting the clock. Let him waste the clock.
Yeah.
Let him lay there as long as he
Instead,
likes.
he goes up. He does the classic stupid thing of standing very close to him and then bending over and yelling down at him.
and then grab his
And
shirt
then
and try to
grabs
pull
his
him
shirt
up.
and tries to pick him up. Mope throws his arms
I know.
up like this.
Suddenly-
So it ends up almost undressing him.
Mm-hmm.
And then all I could see was John McGinn like showing his man thong, ready to fucking get involved in the action. Let's do it.
Mope acts like a protester getting pinched. Go limp.
Yeah.
Go limp.
Yeah. It was the whole thing was fucking stupid. And then
My favorite
three
part.
Brentford players run over.
You missed the best part about that entire thing.
Was how half-hearted those three idiots that walked over to defend their friend was.
No, the best part about the entire thing. Kamara comes over, stands over Mope, whose head is still, like, his shirt is still over his head, and fixes it. Pulls it down
his shirt.
straightens it up, and then puts his hands down going, "Can I help you up?"
Nice.
And then gets a red card for choking somebody.
All of that en français.
I think we've said what we needed to say. The Northwest Derby was a dog shit match.
It was absolutely
It
pitiful.
was an absolute dog shit match.
It was absolutely pitiful. You know how you get in that zone sometimes mentally, where like it's just not happening for me today?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Liverpool had. The longer they went without scoring, the worse everything got. And the best single chance of the game actually fell to United. Mm-hmm. And they're just too dog shit to put it away.
A great outcome for United, but can it really be called a performance?
No.
No.
It was horrible.
Put
And
11 behind the ball and just said, "We dare you." And Liverpool obliged them by not actually attacking the goal.
So
It was like, it was almost like the Liverpool team went, "Oh, you're going to put 11 behind the ball? Well, Klopp always says we get fucked when 11 are behind the ball, so fuck it. We're just not even
But
going to
that's
bother
not
playing."
even entirely true. They had 36 shots. But
Nothing
I think they only had 8 on target, but they were
Nothing
terrible.
convincing.
No, it was horrible. Onana made one good save.
Yeah, and that one was one of the ones that it was just above his head, and he likes to do his normal Onana
What's his
bit.
name? His name Onana, yeah?
Yeah, his normal Onana bit, which is hit like this, but then also make sure I throw my legs up in the air to make it look sure I got 5 feet in the air.
Does the fucking Elgato highlight reel save.
Yep.
Yeah, every
Oh, yeah.
time. This was the worst game of football this season.
It was just a dog shit game.
Absolutely fucking pitiful. And we watched Luton Sheffield United at one point this season. And this was the worst football match that I've seen all year.
You know what the talking point of this game is, really? It's the fucking red card at the end.
Well, yeah,
the double
and
yellow.
so this, I thought a lot about this. I liked it. This reminded me a lot of Rob.
Oh God, yes. Rob posted in our closed group was like, that's dog shit double yellow. I'm like, bringing back flashback stud.
Yeah. So Rob, traditionally, I do dumb shit. My second yellow, my first yellows were usually for dissent. My second yellows were me getting fed up and pounding on somebody.
Right.
Rob would do the other way around. He would disguise his pounding on somebody pretty well and get a yellow for that. The second yellow for Rob was always dissent.
Always dissent.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen a double dissent yellow.
And for
In
the
the
same
space
thing,
of 10 seconds.
he threw his arm and waved him off, and then after getting the yellow card, threw his arm and waved him again. I actually
here's
think
the thing. It's bonehead. It's fucking boneheaded. Because if it was a yellow card 10 seconds ago, it's going to be a yellow card again.
but also I tend to agree with the desk on this one when they talked about it afterwards. Referee, don't pull out this fucking second yellow. Be like, walk right up to him and go, "You're done. Do it again. Second yellow's coming. Do it again."
From a player's perspective, I can understand that. I would feel the same way. It's all part of the same argument.
Right.
So why are you carding me again? We're still having the same discussion.
Yeah.
But from, I guess, a rules perspective or from the referee's perspective, is you've done it once and I booked you for it. You then performed the exact same action again.
Then why hasn't Bruno Fernandes received a double yellow yet this season?
Why did they stop giving people fake yellows for brandishing fake cards?
You know, it was.
Well, I mean, there's no consistency. Absolutely,
And
100%.
that's where I'm getting at. It's by the letter of the law. Is it a double yellow? Of course it is. And the spirit of the game and the way things should go. God
But we also
damn,
can't
no.
hear what he's saying either.
Sorry, Russ. By the way,
You know what I'm saying? We already can't hear what he's saying, regardless.
right.
And you know what's a great description of this game?
Mm-hmm.
Until that double yellow, until that red card, this game was scripted by somebody that works in an HR department.
Okay.
You can't say anything anymore. You can't do anything anymore. Let's just everybody fucking have a nice run out at the park. Let's not trouble each other. Let's not do anything. Let's not make any jokes. Let's everybody just do what you got to do.
Don't get drunk at the Christmas party. Rounding out the rest of the league in so that happened. Tottenham 2, Forest 0, Everton 2, Burnley 0, Chelsea 2, Sheffield 0, Newcastle 3, Fulham 0, West Ham 3, Wolverhampton 0. Or shutouts happened. Spurs just have a fucking discipline problem, man.
Yeah.
They're looking like you when Arteta first took over the team.
Yeah, no shit.
Just constantly dumb yellows, dumb reds, over and over and over again. Seems like somebody every fucking week is seeing red on that team, and they got a lot of injuries too. It's just not fucking smart.
Yeah, and it's really sad for Forrest and for Steve Cooper as well, because I haven't seen a team this reliant on one player since Wilfred Zaha's Crystal Palace. Mm-hmm. But they are a shell of themselves without Awoniyi.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you look at City and what happened against Palace in the 2-2, or what happened against some of these other teams or whatever when Haaland's been out. They've still eked out a couple of wins in the Champions League. They've still done some things. They've still scored a few goals. Forest have done fuck all since Awoniyi got hurt.
Yeah,
they've done absolutely nothing. And this was every year when Zaha would get hurt for Palace for 5-6 games or whatever it was, slide down the table. And then he'd come back and he'd rescue them with draws and wins, and then they would be, comfortably 11th again.
And if Spurs have a discipline problem, Forest apparently have a goalkeeping problem, because you finally get Matty Turner in, and he fucks off on both of the goals.
So the one sentence I wrote about him, so Kulusevski had a really hard strike. I mean, he did, that ball was at pace, but it's a save that a professional goalkeeper should be expected to make, and not
Gotta make it. Gotta make it.
Limp wrists. Limp risk it.
Gotta make that save, man.
No, limp risk it.
You're gonna try to push that one, aren't you, Dad
Oh,
Joe?
big time.
You want that to be show title?
It's
Yeah.
good.
No. Mm-mm.
No, not gonna happen.
Kulusevski broke stuff.
Okay, maybe.
Anyway, Matt Turner did everything he can to disparage Americans in the UK playing football. is what he was doing.
It's just not good.
The terrible
and the keeper before, when he replaced Matt Turner, has looked like dog shit too.
Oh, yeah. But the terrible clearance, I mean, what was that? Gave it straight to Kulusevski to begin with, gives the ball inside, receives the ball back, and then, again, it hit him in the hands. I don't care how hard it is. You should be expected to save that.
At least knock it down in front of you when somebody scores on a rebound. It can't
Horrible.
go through your hands. It can't go through your hands.
It was absolutely pitiful. It looked like he hadn't done a push-up in 6 weeks.
Yeah, it can. You know what? The January transfer window is about to open. Time to give old Keylor Navas a call again there, Forrest.
No shit.
Because old man Navas could fucking do it better than these two guys could.
Guess who, had his pay reduced and is still without a club?
David De Gea.
David De Gea.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that owner loves to throw money at problems.
I
think he could get right in there. But all in all, it was a comfortable day for Spurs.
Yeah.
that
Other than
being
just
said,
dumb cards.
Of the Palace of the Forest period of dominance, they rarely even troubled the Tottenham goal.
Right.
When they had their 15, 18 minutes of possession, they rarely troubled the goal at all. I mean, it was very smooth sailing for Tottenham in this game.
Yeah, but also their next opponent.
But Yves Bissouma, so this is the other thing I thought about too, because the Christmas being on a Monday, we have like a normal weekend of fixtures. We're forgetting, right? This is the time when everybody tries to get their cards so they could be off for Christmas.
Right.
And this is what's happening. Look how many Reds. Ben Mee hasn't been off for Christmas in 16 years.
So decided he's going to be off for
Fuck
Christmas.
Yeah. Dallo, I'm going to head back to Portugal for the weekend.
Well, and you could probably use Yves Bissouma because you're about to play a team that loves to counterattack you to death, who has now got 4 wins and 4 fucking shutouts in a row. Oh, yeah, by the way, don't look now, everybody. England's number 1 leads the league in fucking shutouts. Everton are on fucking fire, and they didn't even play particularly well to beat Burnley.
No, they did not play very well to beat Burnley.
They went with 3 new guys at the back because of suspensions and injuries. No problem. Just moving right along.
But so obviously there's been a lot of football congestion for the top 8 teams in the league with the European fixtures and everything else piling up. We're getting to that period. Like this weekend essentially screamed, if anyone would ever listen, the Premier League needs a winter break.
Yeah.
The football this weekend was atrocious.
It's not a good weekend of
I
football.
didn't particularly care for this game as a whole.
Oh, it's dog shit. Once Everton went up 2-0, honestly, on two poor defensive plays from Burnley, they were able to just shut it down because Burnley wasn't doing anything to scare them.
And at home as well. And I'm really getting concerned for Burnley. I don't think they'll be able to strengthen enough and pick up enough points. Because even, you got to look at the people around you and what they're doing. And you've got Sheffield United the last couple of weeks have picked up a point here or there or a win here or there. I think Burnley could really finish in dead last now. And Sheffield United finished in 19th. They're still not getting out of it. But, however, Luton's picking up points here or there. Everton obviously have gone on their run. That's a lot of ground to make up.
It really
for
is.
Burnley.
It really is.
And I just don't know where they're going to get it from because they can't score goals regularly.
And Everton is,
and they also can't keep the opposition out. They concede in like every fucking game.
Right.
Minus that Sheffield United game that got what's his name sacked. They're conceding in every fucking game. It feels like.
Mm-hmm. And then for Everton, they seem to they're not giving up any. First time since the 60s that Everton has won 4 straight with 4 shutouts. Again, you were talking about how Villa had their,
calendar year record.
Just insane. And honestly, going to Spurs, okay, Spurs, I dare you to fucking score. Like, Everton's going to be ready for you. Like, even in your building, you're getting the wrong team at the wrong fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It'll be fine. Christian Romero's there. He'll want to be off for Christmas for sure.
Yeah.
So Dominic Calvert-Lewin will probably suffer a season-ending injury.
Right, exactly.
Because Christian Romero will fucking murder him.
Start Beto. Chelsea should have scored more. They really should have scored more.
I mean, they were at it from the off, really.
It was
they
0-0 for
this
far
game.
too long in this
big
match.
time. 77% of the ball, 6 shots on target for 15 overall, and 2 goals were only 7 minutes apart. Other than that, they were quite wasteful.
Yeah.
But Sheffield United didn't really show much. They were a little bit more organized, but they had nothing going forward again.
All I was going to say about the Blades was it looks like at least they'll put up a fight.
Yeah.
Like, that's about what we can now say with it being Chris Wilder back. It's just
which is funny because last time we stopped talking about them for the last 2 months of the season because they didn't give a shit.
Yeah, it's...
The only person that cared was Aaron Ramsdale, if you remember.
Exactly. More injuries for Newcastle, this time Fabian Schär and Joe Linton, if we call him by his government name. They just can't catch a fucking break, man.
No, they can't.
But really, this all comes down to Rolls' red card. And I kind of sat there and my first reaction is what everybody's first reaction is. He pulled out of it. Why is it a red card? Well, because he was diving through the fucking air in the first place and realized, oh, wait, I need to make this look less worse than it already is, or else I'm going to Bruce Lee karate kick this man in the head unless I turn around and hit him with my ass. So
I feel bad for Raul Jimenez in this instance. And as an American and U.S. men's national team fan with the starting forward for the Mexicans for the last however long, it kind of pains me to say it. But I do feel bad for him in the sense because was it Tom Kearney that had the ball at that point? I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He looked like he was about to hoof it. So Jimenez jumped to block whatever long pass Kearney was trying to make. Problem was, he did the old Mexican, my hips don't lie,
and turned it around
and kept the ball on the ground. And then Raul Jimenez was already in the air, and what else are you going to do?
It was like he was holding a gun at him and decided last minute, I'm not going to shoot him and hit him with the butt of the gun instead. Still assault. still assault. Like, but when you look at the first thing, which is a gun pointed at somebody, you're like, oh, that's really bad. At least he didn't do anything. No, still fucking assault. Like, my first reaction was like, oh man, that's kind of hard. No, he lunged in to go.
The reason I feel bad for him is because we've all been there. We've all been done by somebody that drops a hip and a shoulder, right?
Yep.
We've all been done by somebody that's done that, and he just had it done to him.
No.
Is the thing. But you know what? I may boycott the festive fixtures.
Okay.
Okay? Because I don't think I want to live in a world where a surprise rim job is a red card. If I put my ass there, you better stick your tongue out. Okay?
This has been documented with you before.
Wow.
Typically only on injury time. And where would you find injury time, Mr. Graham?
At patreon.com/DU football show.
Remember how to do that there. There you go.
I'm just saying.
And honestly, ultimately, this is why the game ended up where it ended up. Once Fulham went down to 10 men, Newcastle are going to be ruthless, even though they were only playing with about 4.5 players on the pitch. It didn't matter. They were going to find ways to score. And that's just what ultimately happened. And I think that Fulham was ultimately undone by the red card is what it really came down to.
Well, they did luckily score some of the goals prior to the injuries as well. Or at least prior to the forward player's injury.
Right.
And I told you, well, Raul Jimenez was back amongst the goals, obviously, in recent weeks. Him going off kind of stuttered Fulham's attack, I think. Iwobi had a good chance that he fluffed. But
trust me, we're happy about that over here in Goodison for Tuesday's quarterfinal League Cup match now.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
The form striker is now off.
Is League Cup this
Tuesday.
Week?
Yeah,
Fuck
Tuesday.
off, man. The football comes thick and fast, doesn't it?
It does.
This is wild. I'm tired.
Yeah. Good thing you'll have a week. You'll have a show off next week. It'll be okay.
FIFA announced the Club World Cup. Did you see this?
Yes, I did.
12 European teams are going to be taking part. So they basically just made a Super League.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what they just did.
They undercut the G6.
I made a Super League.
They made a Super League.
It's pretty brilliant.
They left 4 teams able to, they can change out, look like. And Arsenal wasn't included, you cunts. We're elite.
Go figure. How many European competitions have you won?
How many have you won?
More than you.
How many?
1.
So we have 2. European Fairs Cup, I think. Or Cup Winners' Cup, maybe. Take that. It's a very minor one. But we still won it.
I mean, we would have.
Hey, you know what? It's more important than the McRib Trophy. I'll tell you that. So West Ham can shut the fuck up.
We would have won the European Championship if it wasn't for the fact that someone across the park from us decided to riot a bunch in 1985. Not bitter about that at all.
The 80s. What a time.
The Irons did what the Irons do, which is counter-attack you to death. And that first goal was indicative of exactly what you have to watch out for when you are playing fucking West Ham.
I mean, Kudu struck it well, but I think Jose Sa gets to that ball.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair.
I think Jose Sa gets to that ball. I think that's unfortunate that he's injured at the moment, to be honest with you. But what a great ball. I mean, all 3 assists were from Paqueta.
That's what I was about to say. Paqueta with a hat trick of assists.
But 2 of the 2 balls to Kudus in particular were phenomenal. Or Kudus, and then the second one might have been to Bowen. No, because he had the assist.
Yeah.
The 2 passes to Kudus were excellent.
Yep.
Absolutely excellent. Completely opened the play. And the first one especially, he was so off balance. He ended up doing that weird, like, white guy on ice from the Ring doorbell camera that we're about to start getting overloaded on our Facebook feeds.
Exactly.
Can't wait. He was doing that after he played the pass because it was so off balance. It was fantastic. He was great. He's not very fast, but the work that he did to retain that ball and open the field up, draw players to him, and then which created the space for Kudus to run into, is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I don't know what the Wolves defense was doing besides ball watching. I mean, it wasn't like a daring, dashing run.
Do you think that's a
from
case
Kudus.
of them just like Bennett played a couple of games at the end of last season? Do you?
It could be.
I also wonder now. It's like they've got to hold on to Sa during January, and I know that there's some shouts from Saudi Arabia to give
Probably
money.
some shouts from Manchester.
Like, just why? Like, you got to hold on to Sa. You have to, because your team and your defense is completely different with him in the net. And I still feel they're very comfortably safe, but this team could find themselves in a bit of a scrap and in 15th place and in a little trouble if they don't take care of that situation.
Yeah, well, I mean, according to Gary O'Neill, they'd be a championship club if it wasn't for the referees. So, fuck them.
Sure money.
City screwed me again.
Yes, they did.
So I said, my thing says, seriously, City, fuck. Also, thanks. Because of them dropping points in the title race, obviously.
Dort Spirek Cup
Which
of
is
Losers.
fine. And I will, as I said last season and did multiple times, I will gladly lose a bet so my club, I sacrifice it for my club.
Yep, makes
so it's
perfect
fine
sense.
with me. So I am now down $247. But that's fine because I'll get out of it when I place my bet in just a few moments. But what do you have going on there for you, sir?
All right, I picked the winner, but I got the goals wrong. So my Cup of Losers says, now Raya gets a shutout. No, that goes into the Cup of Losers. Put that there. But that's all right, Graham, because I'm still in the black. I am at $61.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Did you know, Mr. Graham, nice round number, 25% of the time, it works 100% of the time.
It always happens once a season. You get a nice, round, succinct number.
Give me the El Gatwico, baby. On Thursday, Brighton to win and over 2.5 total goals at plus 208.
You do know Dean Henderson, Mel's Dean Henderson, is back between the sticks
Yeah.
at Crystal Palace after his permanent move from Forest.
Is it Mel's Dean Henderson?
She loves Dean Henderson.
Or is it Nicole's
It's Nicole's.
Dean Henderson?
Oh, it's Nicole's? I thought it was yours. I thought you
liked
echoed.
Heaton. Heaton was who I liked before.
Oh, you like Tom
way,
Heaton.
Yeah, way
Yeah, okay.
back, you know.
All right. They're essentially the same
Yeah.
person
and
to me.
And it's Dean Smith that's now the coach of
Charlotte
Charlotte's
FC.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know that. You didn't find him attractive, though. He's
No, I'm
like
just,
Sam's age.
I was just, finding an excuse to tell people that
She's
Dean
fucking
Smith
married,
is
didn't
now Dean Smith is now coaching Charlotte. That's it.
Yeah,
finds
no.
me
So
plenty
I
attractive, thank
forgot. I guess I conflated that memory.
Yeah.
Because I thought you echoed Nicole's
Oh, no,
sentiment.
just
No. Okay.
I remember to put booze in the car. I'm sorry. I was just talking over here. Don't worry about me. You're good, Sam. You do your
I
thing.
haven't had a day off in 3 months.
Okay.
You haven't worked for 3 months this year.
You want to I hit my fucking numbers, did you?
Your number was like 7.
Yeah, I still fucking hit it.
I hit your number for you in March, you cunt.
I hit my number.
Fuck you, bro. You only hit your number because I hit it for you. And John.
And now,
Billy.
it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
I like to call that motivation.
He titled this one Christmas Miracle.
Also,
he did.
tell me I don't take care of my girls. Daddy makes sure the girls in the corner get paid.
Well, maybe not because, well, you had a gift card to Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
Let's start there first.
Big pimpin'.
Secondly, and I'm sure he wore his fur too, didn't he? With his toes out. Secondly, Mel jumped and almost hit her head on the wall because you've knocked your phone over. So clearly something's going on here.
Got to keep her in check.
Anyway, he titled this one Christmas Miracle. And I quote, another week and another loss. I'm down 1,500 and I'm hoping on a Christmas miracle this week. I'll take a 3-game parlay with some favorites and hope that everything plays out as it should. I'll take Villa over Sheffield, Newcastle over Luton, and if they can even field their team, and Tottenham over Everton. That pays out at $250 on a $100 bet. You guys have a Merry Christmas and we'll talk next week. Well, we'll talk
good.
on Sunday there, Chief.
Yep, it'll be Sunday. Yep.
And he's off Monday, so he should stay up and call us,
Very good.
actually, if he was dedicated or remembers to do it.
Okay, well, I'll have a conversation with them.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. The Luton one I've also included in mine, and I'm nervous because Newcastle might not be able to field a team. And if they do, they may have an average age of 17.
They managed to score 3 goals with 4.5 men in their match against Fulham.
Yeah. So here's what I've got. This week's going to be different. I can feel it. I can feel it. Villa to win, and there to be over 2.5 goals in that game. So do the same thing you did, essentially. Double chance, West Ham or a draw with Manchester United at the London Stadium. Newcastle to beat Luton at Kenilworth Road. I think an away win is probably on the cards. They'll be used to that cauldron-like atmosphere. The problem is will they be able to field a fucking team of players that have done more than play in the U18 Premier League? And then Tottenham to beat Everton. Because Tottenham at home are a bit different than Tottenham on the road, and they are starting to get a little bit healthier. So
Not
I think
good gambling.
I think they will have something about them and a point to prove that Postecoglou should win a 3rd Manager of the Month award, or 4th maybe
Terrible with money.
That pays me out on a $100 bet at plus 555 U.S. American currency. So
Grammy folding.
I will be well back into the black should I win that.
Oh, that's good. You know who's always in the black and kicking ass? The chicken.
Well, Kitty seems to get things right with Chelsea, and she sits at 10-5. So this week, I gave Kitty Arsenal traveling to Anfield to face Liverpool. Now, Kitty showed me a picture of her and Arsene Wenger and Kenny Dalglish.
Dalglish.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Showing an afternoon tea together. Now, Arsene used to manage Arsenal, and Kenny managed the Reds, so...
I just called your old famous manager Arse.
Arsene?
I heard arson.
Arsenic?
Arson.
There's no N.
And they were enjoying an afternoon
an
tea,
E.
not an afternoon tea.
It should be ARSENE.
Well, here's what I know. Kitty is picking a draw. So when my Villa beats Sheffield on Friday, Villa will go into the Christmas top of the table. And here's a fun fact for you kids at home. I'm going to do that move. Come closer. Come closer. 9 out of the 12 years, the team that was first on Christmas Day won the league.
Look at her doing a TikTok bit.
Recent history would suggest the team that's top on Christmas doesn't win the league.
We are
Who would
already...
who would that be that was on top of the league at Christmas last year?
My boys.
How did it go for you last year?
are already, I'm just pointing out stats. I'm not talking anything else. I'm just saying we are already ahead of where Leicester was in 2016.
So 9 out of the last 12 years, what you said? Interesting.
All right.
Those are just facts.
Well, you know, it's also interesting. That's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Yeah, if you're ever at a stadium, don't double down with the guy being a cunt.
Yeah.
Because I am going to re-mention the person that was being rude to Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins came out afterwards, obviously, and said that it was personal. It was not normal, like, football banter.
It was not racial either.
Well, that's exactly my point, was you think of your traditional cunts, and it's usually homophobia, racism. It usually falls into a couple of bags. But there are people that are absolutely horrible to other individuals that don't fall into any of the ists categories. Or phobia categories. And that's still abhorrent behavior. Just because you bought a ticket doesn't mean you get to say what you want. They're still human beings on the, even though they're professional athletes. Now, people have referenced, the good side, kind of the traditional chance of you're shit and you know you are, and some of those things, right? And I can't remember who said it to James Madison. But basically, Gareth Southgate thinks you're shit as he was about to take a corner. And then he stepped up to the corner. He moved the ball outside of the quadrant on purpose and then purposely missed his kick. And then they all just went, way, like, all right, he got us back, kind of thing. That's, those kind of traditional, it's not personal. Right? Whatever this guy was saying, whether it be
it
like...
wasn't just once or twice or 3 times.
Apparently
or
it was
4
all
times.
the whole fucking game.
It was, yeah. And Yes, he's a professional athlete. Yes, he, should do better. Blah, 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 blah. He's still a motherfucking human being, y'all.
And I thought he handled the situation properly.
Yeah.
I mean, so there are people that haven't in the past.
Nope.
Eric Cantona.
You
Eric
know
Dyer.
what? He didn't try to pull that move.
No. Exactly right. He restrained himself from doing that. And there was a story recounted today, as I heard other people speak about this incident, where Vinnie Jones was being given abuse the entire, game by somebody, basically. And Vinnie Jones was known for properly fucking taking people out.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something happened where the ball went to the crowd, and
Vinnie Jones was typecast as an actor for a reason in all of the
100%. But
in all the Guy Ritchie movies.
The guy was like not giving the ball back to him, and he came over to take the throw in, and the guy like yelled something at him, like, why don't do whatever it was, something, just being a dickhead to him personally. And Vinnie Jones just looked at him and was like, okay, can I have the ball, please? And the guy just like shrunk, just kind of, he doesn't care about me.
Yeah, he just does not give a shit.
Right. Vinnie Jones, basically in that moment, by not doing anything or by just treating him like a piece of shit, whatever, it's like, my life is infinitely better than yours. Yeah. And you're the one showing up here yelling at another grown-ass man that can beat your ass.
I'm a professional footballer.
Yeah.
You're wearing a professional footballer's name on your back.
Right, exactly.
Shut up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Exactly right. And again, just not, it's outside of the realms of normal banter. Just, stand up for people and don't double down with the cunt that does it.
Yeah.
Just let them know just to shut up, because there's always that dickhead that will be hurling abuse at somebody. And the second an athlete takes offense to it or gives them the finger or does something, he goes, hey, my kid's here. It's like, what have you been saying for the last 40 minutes? You dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't hide behind that. It's just stand up for people. There's a way to talk shit and be okay with it,
Mm-hmm.
and this just isn't it. And basically, it's about my general rule of thumb is it's about control. If you can control it, it's fair game to make fun of.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't control it, it's not.
Very good. Very good. And also, Joey Barton, stop with the whataboutism on Twitter. Seriously, dude, just don't. Just not even worth recapping. Just Joey Barton, stop it. Fucking, you just want to walk up to him and smack him in the head and go, fucking stop it.
Because he made one good point at the beginning of it, and then he just devolved into everything else.
Fucking stop it. All right, so thank you very much for joining us, boys and girls. Next up is Injury Time, where we chat fantasy. We check in on the Ibs, and we talk about the beers we've been drinking. And, of course, we also have the EFL show coming up as well. We're going to check in on the rest of the football league. Sammy, should somebody want to find Injury Time, how do they go about doing it?
One last time for you. I'm going to stick my leg out and hope the taxi of the larger listening community pays their $5 and goes to patreon.com/DU Football Show and signs up to that one glorious tier that we have as a friend of DU Football Show for $5, and you get all the extra content. It's a wonderful time.
Fantastic,
You
everybody.
got a taste of it at the beginning of this feed, by the way. It wasn't the whole story. There's a lot more in it. About, what was it, Mel? 12, 13 minutes?
At least.
Yeah, something like that at the beginning where that's only for the Patreon. But Merry Christmas. We gave you about 7 free minutes.
Until next week, everybody.
Good night.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Brooklyn United! Brooklyn United! Hit the fucking mute button!